Always on mute, man. I was just going to get myself in YouTube here. So how's everybody doing? It looks like just me right now, so that is fine. I'm just going to hang out for a few and see who shows up. Looks like just me in here right now, so that's good. Got a good one for tonight. Went way back, and now I'm going to do the first part of Her Men in Black. Should be a good one. So, and this is like 3 years ago, so it should be good. I'm going back a little older now. Hi, Cam Cakes. How you doing? Thank you for showing up. Appreciate it. And I'll start the upload probably around 12:30, a little bit before, giving all who shows up. You're doing, that's what I'm doing. I'm just doing. We got to sneak a smoke in before we started. Vixen, how are you, dear? How you doing, sweetie? Good to see you, hon. Been enjoying your week? Trying to enjoy the week? Yeah, I figured it's who you were. I figured it was Pam. How are you? I'm getting to know people before they don't even show up in their own name. Yeah, that's the way it is. Yeah, I found this. I wish I feel like this is an interesting draw in the background of the Men in Black. Yeah, it's been crazy here too, Pam. A lot going on. So, Vixen, what have you been doing? I don't know who's all going to show up. Yep. You worked all week, got today off. You took it off anyways. Sound like me. We've been go all week. I was kind of glad I didn't push Thursday because I needed it. I ended up doing work. I mean, it just been nonstop. I'm trying to get everything done early for the fall, so I don't have to worry about anything during the fall and winter. I want to get the old man. I want to get Pops out of the house for a while. I want to make sure everything's done. That way, he's not worrying the whole time. So, and we took off today. I've been go, and then today I was going to do some work, and he wanted to get out of the house, so we drove up to Sunbury. That's about a half hour, 45-minute drive. But we didn't. We went up there. There's a festival, art festival, and the place was packed. It's not very big. Oh, he's doing real good. No, he's 91. He's been through a lot, so it shows. Bless his heart. But he's still spunky. He's a Gemini. What do you expect? So yeah, and a Marine at that. So he doesn't want to give up yet. No, I don't blame him. Though he's tired. But yeah, that's our plan. So we went up there, and on the way home, I went up the Packway, and it wasn't too bad. But when I came, I just said, "Oh, I'll take the highway home." They were doing construction, had it all screwed up, so traffic was worse. So we ended up sitting in traffic. Then we get on the highway and decide to storm on us. I had people calling and texting. I was like, I can't talk to anybody. I'm on the road. Oh, baby brother. Yeah. And Dad says the grouchy ones live the longest. I don't know. He is a little bit on the grouchy side. But he's also fun. Now, he's gotten to liken up over the years. I don't blame him. He just doesn't care. I don't blame him. Meanest to now, he can be pretty mean. My pop can be mean. Oh yeah. Heck, at 91, I'm still scared of him. It would not surprise him. I mean, it's amazing because we go to the store and he'll take forever to get in the store, and I'll turn around and he'll be gone, just like that. Been community with War Criminal 7 about LBL, creepy place. Seems to be a lot of cryptids down there. Oh, really? Yeah, I've heard that, but I've heard also people went there and there wasn't much going on. So I don't know. I know what you're talking about now. There's going to be places. I'm sure there's hot spots. Yeah, I'm sure there's hot spots. Or gateways, whatever you want to call them. But yeah, I believe that it just, when people go looking, you never go. I mean, I've heard several people go there and said they didn't see nothing, hear nothing. They spent 2 weeks down there. I don't know. But I always said when you go looking for it, it's harder to find. When you don't go looking for it, it's when you see it. So, hey, MT, I've been watching your stuff there, bud. I love it. It's good stuff. I have been watching you. How you doing? I'll start leaving comments so you know I am watching, I guess. Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, I do watch. I just don't. I do so much, and when I do get, if I don't get to watch live streams, I watch the replays, and I don't always comment. I ghost. That's one of the reasons why I tag. Well, Ghostdragonzw was actually my fighting name. But I do ghost. I love to ghost, just sitting around in the background. Sometimes I'll slide into a conversation, say something, and then never say nothing again. So I'm good. I'm glad you're good. Yeah, I love the channel, love the stuff. I just don't go ghost hunting anymore. I just don't do that stuff anymore. Every time I do it, something weird and freaky, and anymore, I'm afraid I'll break something, homie, no matter how much I protect myself. But yeah, it's fun to watch everybody else do it now. A lot of strange drownings. Yeah, there's a lot of weird stuff that goes on down there. Oh, for sure. But a lot of weird stuff goes on here in Ohio, too. But yeah, I think those places all over this world are like hot spots where you're liable to find a little bit of everything. I honestly believe that. So yeah. My Wi-Fi's acting up. So if I freeze a little bit, you'll know why. I don't know why it shouldn't be. We have cable. I mean, I'm using Wi-Fi, but the box is right up. Still a chicken. Still a chicken. Bark, bark. No, see, I don't mind. I mean, those days pretty much done for me. I wouldn't, if I had enough people to go. I wouldn't go by myself. I wouldn't go with less than 2 people anymore. That means me and one other person. That's it. That's the only way I'd go, and even then, I'd be kind of sketchy. I tend to draw that stuff in, and sometimes it's a little rough. I've heard so much about ley lines. Ley lines is a big deal, man. I don't think people buy into them enough like they should, because they're important. There's something to it. See them. I can't remember where they are. They're pretty much the vertical ones, horizontal ones. Anyways, one's going across. Most of them are really close to the equator and spaced farther apart. The other one's crisscross over. There, it's hard, but once you start to know the map, and I have to go back and look at it. But you'll find if you start pinning stuff, a lot of stuff happens right on the ley lines. In fact, the one that goes through America almost follows 70 all the way across. It's just a little bit underneath it. And it goes through Arizona. It goes through everything. And if you pin just that line, you'd be shocked. Yeah, well, everything is connection. Yeah, everything's connected. Dimensions and spell. Yeah, it's all connected. We're all connected. Everything's connected. It's why sometimes you can just not even know a person standing beside you, and you'll pick up on their anger or their happiness. You really do give that stuff to each other, and that goes the same for plants, everything around us, everything that's alive, and even some things that you don't think are alive. A lot of ancient sacred sites are, yep, on the ley lines. Yep, they sure are. I hope they get Gemma to do something about ley lines because they are interesting. There's a lot to them. Yep, it sure can. Oh, yeah. And we pick up on that. We don't even have to really read it. I mean, our bodies does all that for us. That's like if you go in a room of happy people and one really grouchy person walks in that room, that attitude will slowly change amongst people unless that person's attitude changes. I've noticed that firsthand. So, but yeah, once a few more people wander in here, I'll start to upload. Like I said, it's their first Men in Black. So that will be good. It's a long one, so and then I'll play a second part to that. So they're both 3 years old. And then there's I call them her Black series. It's a bunch of these murder ones that she did, series that she did of things that I'm going to show. Though she's got quite a few of them that are really good. I figured they'd be fun to go do. Kind of change it up a bit. I haven't seen Andrew for a while. He has it's been probably 2 weeks since I've seen him in oracles. Sometimes he leaves a message a little bit beforehand, but I haven't seen him for a while. I just figured he's busy. You know, he runs a truck. It's busy season, so I know he shows up in other places, so who knows? Now, Black Dragon was here the other night. He was here last night, Friday night. He stays till the end. I don't know if he'll show up tonight. But yeah, he's around. Black Dragon's still around. Yeah. But as for Andrea, it's probably been about 2 weeks since I've seen him in chat. What about Ann? I haven't talked to Ann Palmer. Shoot, it's been a couple months. Now I hear she's doing okay. Other people, I don't know. Somebody decided to start streaming on Friday nights too, and kind of bummed Gemma out. But we think, some people seem to think some of those people are over there. I don't know. But as far as I knew, from what I've heard, she was doing okay. And like I said, it's been a couple months since I've seen her. Probably been longer than that. What's this? August? Heck, it was probably around the holidays when I last saw her. Last year. So yeah, it's been a while. Edna may pop in, Meta may not. She's probably tired. Who knows? She's doing real good too. And Vixen's here, and MT Paranormal. But yeah, I'm going to start the video here in a little bit. Let a couple more people come in. I'll start the upload. I feel the spirits are higher beings and can know every aspect of us by seeing, feeling our. Oh yeah, I kind of agree with that. Though I don't think some human spirits are actually conscious of us or aware of us, because they're either living in that residual effect, or they have a task that never got finished and they're so dwelled into that they or we live in it their situation. So but I do think most spirits are aware of us and see us just as much as we see them, or we really don't see them, but you know what I'm saying. Yes, I'll tell you what you do, MT. Get an old tube television. Put it if you find a haunted, whatever, one of the places you've investigated. You have to hook up a generator. Put that television. Don't even hook a antenna up. Just turn it on and let the static play. Sometimes it helps with the antenna though. Hook a VCR up to it and just let it play. You might be surprised what you might catch. I would do it for like 3 nights in a row. You think White Noise is a movie? No, it's very real. And people were doing it way before that movie even became big. I saw that movie. I was like, hey, we were doing this a long time ago. Your smart TV alone. I used to still have my old tube TV until it finally, a couple tubes went out on it, and it was like crap. And it played great, but finding tubes for it's a pain in the butt. But yeah, I don't worry too much about the spirit realm, but you do get a few spirits that go sour. They've been here too long. They're too angry. As those are the ones that become powerful and become more like little demons, even though they're not. You'll find a lot of angry souls like that serial. To get rid of a period. Actually, I don't watch TV as much. I've even lately I've been so busy I have stayed away from the computer and stuff, and I don't use all my apps on my phone. I only look at Facebook on my phone as if I'm sitting in a doctor's office, and I actually can get a decent signal. Sometimes I can't even get a signal. I don't try to use the hospital internet. I get lots of vulgar ones come through. Say pretty. Yeah, you will. You will. And funny things. Yeah, you get those. You'll get those. Those are the angry ones. Those are the ones that just not good people at all. And then some of them may not even be people. Some of them may actually be something else. So that's what bothers me about it. Everybody falls for this kid thing. And I have a problem with that because not always a kid. They just get suckered right into that. And that's the whole idea. That's why they do what they do. It's like the doll thing. People get, oh, I'm a little girl. They call on a psychic that tells the psychic, I'm a little girl or a little boy and I'm lonely, blah, blah, blah. And that's how they suck you in. I mean, Annabelle wasn't the first one. But sometimes I kind of wonder about our toy industry. Dolls have been used for years to hold souls and stuff. And now all of a sudden, every kid, every little girl's got to have one. And some of the stories I hear about some of these toys, you would think that somebody at these toy factories are doing black magic on these toys, because I saw a video about this guy that had this like little princess makeup stand that lights up and plays music. It's not supposed to talk, and it talks to them. I mean, he's got recordings. This is somewhere across I think down in South America or something. It is, and he even took the batteries around. It freaked everybody else. So he took the batteries out and stored it, brought it back out, and it lit up before he even put the batteries in it. So he went ahead and put the batteries in it and started talking to him like, a long time no see. It was creepy. I told you about that. Yeah, he hated it. Yeah. Yeah, and I'm babbling now. I'm just trying to wait for some folks to come in so I can start this upload. Guys, notice I get built up and then they drops back down. But that's Saturday night for you too, and it's beautiful. I don't know, it rained here, but it stopped. So I'm sure it was real busy when we went out earlier. So yeah. What time we got here? Yeah, I'm gonna get ready to start this. Once again, this is Gemma's Black-Eyed Kid, her first time she taught, not Black-Eyed Kid, but Men in Black. I'm sorry. We did the Black-Eyed Kids ones already. This one's 3 years old. This is the first one. It's 28 minutes and 30 seconds. It is 3 years old. So let's get on this. Let me see if I can get everything rocking here. Yeah, we did a little bit. Here we got hit earlier, and then we got hit coming back from Sunbury, and we got it pretty good. And then this morning, now where I'm at today, we got a little bit of rain earlier, and then this morning. But when we were on the road, we drove in and out, and then the big storm that hit us just north of I-270. Or Sunbury, in between Sunbury and I-270. You know where that's at. Yep. In fact, it is that time. You'll probably hear her bring him up. So let's do this. Let me get it going. I got to present. Share screen. That one. Okay, let me get this sharing. Whoa, what a face. And Rob, just let me know if sound is good and everything.
You guys, welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, just welcome.
Let me get out.
My name is Gemma Jade, but today we are going to be talking about the Men in Black. As most of you know, I do have a series, a two-parter on the BEK, and that's what I'm hoping to do today with the Men in Black. I'm hoping to make this a part one. And I'm just going to simply tell some stories about the MIB, some encounters. I thought this would be a nice little video, just a break from, the last case I covered was so savage.
Hard to believe it's 3 years
so I thought
old.
this would be a fun little thing that we can discuss and that we can do. And I just also want to thank Steve Stockton, my one and only and my first Patreon and my partner in true crime with our podcast. But I will talk about all of that at the end of the video. And I also want to thank him and the one other person whose name I do not have permission to put in the video for donating through PayPal. It really did help, and I appreciate you. Anyways, I find the Men in Black to be, aside from the BEK, the creepiest and strangest, and in my opinion, most believable phenomenon out there, okay? So let's talk about the Men in Black, guys. The Men in Black, or as they're sometimes called, the MIB, are described by Wikipedia as, quote, supposed men dressed in black suits who claim to be quasi-government agents who harass, threaten, or assassinate UFO witnesses to keep them quiet about what they have seen. It is sometimes implied that they may be aliens themselves. The term is also frequently used to describe mysterious men working for unknown organizations, as well as various branches of government allegedly designed to protect secrets or perform other strange activities. The term is generic, used for any unusual, threatening, or strangely behaved person whose appearance on the scene can be linked in some fashion to a UFO sighting. Several alleged encounters with the Men in Black have been reported by UFO researchers and enthusiasts, end quote. Thank you, Wikipedia, because that's exactly what we're going to be talking about today. I found some really strange Men in Black encounters, and there were so many. I picked out some of the strangest ones, but of course I had to save some for part 2. I gotta keep you guys wanting more. So let's talk about the encounter that supposedly started it all. According to most researchers who study this phenomenon, Harold Dahl's 1947 experience is the first one ever recorded or reported, and pretty much led the way for people to start coming forward. It doesn't necessarily mean it was the first one ever, but it was the first one reported, and this helped other people come out to start talking about it, and it kind of brought the phenomenon to light. So as the story goes, Harold Dahl was on a conservation mission in the Puget Sound near the eastern shore of Washington's Maury Islands. Harold went out to gather logs, I guess start a fire, and he saw 6 donut-shaped objects hovering about a half a mile above his head. All of a sudden, as Harold sat there stunned and shocked, staring up at the sky, not knowing what he was seeing or what to do, one of these crafts fell about 1,500 feet and rained metallic debris all over the place. It like just exploded or imploded, whatever. Allegedly, some of the debris hit Harold's son Carl on the arm and gave him a really nasty cut, but that's not the worst of it. Some of it also hit the family dog and killed it. Incredibly, Dahl had the presence of mind to get out his camera, a 1947's camera, so we're not talking digital, guys, and snap photos of the craft. That's pretty ballsy. Harold then took these photos to his supervisor, whose name was Fred Chrisman. Chrisman was highly suspicious and skeptical of Dahl's story. He didn't believe in UFOs, and he was like, yeah, right, you got some photos. But after Dahl showed him the photos, he went back to the scene himself, to the exact spot Dahl said his son and the dog were when they saw the objects. And while he was there, Fred himself actually saw one of the same exact craft described by Dahl. He was immediately no longer a skeptic and didn't know what to do. This made him a believer. The very next day, Dahl was visited by a man wearing a black suit. I don't know how or why, but Dahl and this mysterious man somehow ended up at a diner, and the mysterious man ends up recounting to Dahl exactly what he had seen the day before. So this guy's telling Dahl, like, yeah, you're with your son and your dog, you looked up, you saw he told him the whole thing, including that he knew he took pictures of this craft. That's pretty scary. I don't know how you meet a strange man in black at a diner, but it was 1947 and the MIB stories hadn't come out yet. So maybe he didn't know what he was getting into. After recounting what Dahl had seen to a T, the stranger said to him, quote, "What I have said is proof to you that I know a great deal more about this experience of yours than you will want to believe," end quote. The sinister and seemingly psychic man then warned Dahl that he was never to speak of the incident again, or, quote, "bad things may happen," end quote. So basically, that was a poorly veiled threat for Dahl to not pursue this any further. Dahl took the advice, and he, in fact, did not pursue it any further. He really never spoke of it again, and the information we have comes from his original account that he told to Chrisman. He was scared, and I don't blame him. In all of these allegedly true MIB encounters, the men in black always have one singular purpose, and that seems to be to silence witnesses to strange alien and paranormal phenomenon. They wear black sunglasses and suits. They drive black cars. While they've also been described as wearing suits, wearing clothing, and driving cars from a past era, even back in 1947, they weren't dressed for the time. No one's ever been able to pinpoint which era. It seems like they're of a past, but maybe not a past from here. Maybe they're from another time, another past, interdimensional beings. They wear clothing similar to the 1940s, 1950s era, but it's similar to, it's not exactly, it's like there's something off about it. While some skeptics think these men are simply government agents working for a top secret and highly guarded agency, usually having to do with alien phenomenon, there are also some who describe them as just plain old FBI or CIA agents, although they act a little weird due to the secrecy of their job. They're not really able to talk to people, just weird dudes who work for top secret government. That's what they want you to believe. I mean, after all, their main job is threatening and silencing witnesses to these events. Like, imagine knowing for a fact that there were aliens on this planet. How would that mess you up? I mean, I don't know if it'd mess me up, but some people, who knows what they've seen? Those who have seen them and those who hold wholeheartedly believe aren't men at all, but aliens. They are always said to have strange features like glowing or even unblinking eyes, pale, plastic, fake-looking skin. They move in a mechanical manner, and they have no hair on their heads or face, and some have even reported that they have no mouth, but lipstick, red lipstick painted where the mouth should be. They also seem to be able to speak to each other when there's more than one, telepathically. They seem to be able to read minds, and that's not even the craziest thing they can do. But before I get into the stories that I'm covering today, I want to talk about what some folklorists have to say about the MIB phenomenon, because it's pretty interesting. They claim, quote, "The whole idea of Men in Black itself is a form of mass panic or of psychological drama due to suggestibility and a willingness to believe," end quote. Most people that believe in it, however, wholeheartedly believe that the Men in Black are part of a government agency, yeah, but not that they're a part of the CIA or the FBI. They're actually aliens who work for our government, and their sole purpose is to make sure at any and all costs that the public does not find out about anything having to do with aliens. We, the public, can never know that aliens exist and that they're on this planet. That tends to be what I believe, but we'll talk about that at the end. As of right now, there's no way to definitively tell if the MIB are real or not, because if they are in fact a part of the secret government agency whose sole purpose is to do what I just said, everything I just mentioned, then they're doing a great job of it. The mere fact that they're so secret and so strange and threatening has prevented any kind of conclusive evidence of either alien abduction, anything to do with aliens, or the Men in Black existing at all. Do you guys get what I'm trying to say? So, are the Men in Black real? Are they just a symptom of mass panic or delusions? Or are they simply an urban legend akin to the BEK phenomenon? And if you haven't seen those videos, here's part 2. This is, of course, for you to decide, though. So here are the alleged encounters with real Men in Black. Dr. Herbert Hopkins was working as a consultant on a UFO case in the state of Maine. To what capacity he was involved is unclear, but here's his story. One night, while sitting home alone in his house and going over his UFO research, Herbert received a phone call. It was a man, and the man said that he was extremely interested in Hopkins' work, that he was a UFO activist, and he was really, really wanted to interview Herbert Hopkins about his research. So the mysterious voice on the phone asked Herbert if he can come to his home and interview him. Herbert was like, yeah, I guess. But the minute he hung up the phone, there was a knock at the door. There were no cell phones at this time, guys. I don't know exactly what the year was, but I know Hopkins died in 1972. So this had to have happened way before cell phones. So anyways, Herbert hangs up, and then immediately there's a knock at the door. Where was this person calling from that he was able to arrive so quickly? Anyways, when he opens the door, Hopkins described seeing a man standing there that was wearing a black suit and a black hat and had, quote, a very unusual facial appearance, end quote. The man had no hair on his head or face, including eyebrows. He was also extremely and unnaturally pale. Hopkins' usually gentle and quiet dog was savagely barking at this stranger and could not be silenced or calmed down the entire time this man was in the house interviewing Hopkins. After this man was finished questioning Hopkins about his UFO research, he told Hopkins that he knew he had 2 coins in his pocket and for him to take one out. Hopkins did in fact have 2 pennies in his pocket, and even though he was shocked, he was very intrigued, so he took one of the pennies out and held it out as the man had told him to do. Within seconds, the penny in Hopkins' hand started to shimmer and became very blurry. Then it started to go in and out of focus until suddenly it just wasn't there anymore. The MIB told Hopkins that the penny, quote, would never be seen on this plane again, end quote. What a creepy and weird encounter. Like, first of all, I wouldn't have let this guy in. And second of all, I've been kicked him out by now. The MIB then asked a seemingly random question when he asked Herbert Hopkins if he had heard about the alleged UFO abductee Barney Hill and his wife, Betty. Herbert admitted that he had heard about Barney Hill and the abduction, but didn't know much about it, only that he knew Barney Hill had died recently, but he didn't know how. He wasn't following the case. The MIB responded, quote, "That is correct. Barney no longer had a heart, just like you no longer have a coin," end quote. The weird thing about that is Barney Hill didn't die from a heart attack or anything having to do with his heart. He died of a cerebral hemorrhage in his brain. I don't know what the guy meant. Hopkins didn't know what the guy meant. Hopkins said the MIB gently and somewhat sympathetically suggested that Hopkins destroy all of his research and stop working on whatever projects he was working on and never speak of it again. He then turned and left. Hopkins was so scared, so frightened, he immediately complied. He got rid of everything that he had. He quit the research job. He was terrified. He never even spoke about it ever again. It only came out later in his life before he died. I believe he published a book about it because everyone was wondering why he went silent. He went off the grid. He never researched UFOs. He never spoke about it. And he never told anyone why until he was close to death. And then he wrote a book explaining. Hopkins never saw the strange black-clad man again, but promised and remained silent forever about whatever he was working on. I wish I knew what he was working on. Do you think you could be threatened into silence about something like that? I mean, it's kind of a different age. You could kind of just put your phone in your pocket and record a conversation, or, you know, I tend to not believe the newer videos on it, but I don't know. I would be terrified. You know, I'd be afraid they would hurt my family. So I think I would have done the same thing Harold would have done, only I'd probably have a hard time not talking about it. I mean, this stuff intrigues me so much. And I hope I never run into an MIB almost as much as I hope I never run into a BEK. Let's move on to another doctor who was allegedly visited and threatened by an MIB to stop his research immediately. Dr. Albert K. Bender was an extremely intelligent and well-respected researcher who founded the International Flying Saucer Bureau. So this guy was deep into UFO research and he was super duper smart. So in 1955, Dr. Bender was about to publish his findings that concluded and proved without a doubt that to one degree or another, the United States government had covered up proof of alien activity and life forms here on Earth and just the actual existence of them. The government in the United States was aware of them and he was about to go public with his proof. Dr. Bender claims that 3 men, all dressed in black suits, showed up at his house one night. They threatened him to never pursue any more research about aliens or UFOs, and he was told to get rid of the findings that he was about to go public with too. So they threatened him. Unfortunately, most people that were close to Bender at the time said after this encounter, he was never the same. He lived the rest of his life in seemingly a constant state of anxiety and fear, always looking over his shoulder. He's another one that was apparently so terrified and frightened of these 3 men who visited and threatened him, and I don't know what they said to him, that he immediately burned and got rid of every spec ounce paper thing of research that he had and never talked about UFOs again. He actually immediately shut down the Flying Saucer Bureau as well, and he was another one who never told anyone why until the end of his life. He was terrified by whatever the MIB had said to him that night, and that's going to be a secret forever because Bender died and he never told anyone exactly what was said except that he was threatened. Even his research after that into other things tended to be rambly and to the point where they were almost incomprehensible. Bender died in 2002, still claiming that he was receiving strange phone calls at all hours of the day and night, only with no one on the other end. There they go, allegedly tampering with phones again. Probably they wanted to make sure that he was talking about his research, what he had found. I wish we could have known how different the world might be if he was able to publish his findings. I've got one more story for you today, but as I said, do not fret because I'm coming out with a part 2 real soon, and part 3 of BEK is going to be out soon too. So this one's about a radio personality named Danny Gordon, and Danny Gordon was receiving all of these calls about these alleged UFO sightings in White, Virginia. A ton of people had called his radio station telling him that they were seeing these strange and unidentifiable objects flying through the sky, floating around through the sky. And he had so many calls, like I said, that he became so interested, he just had to know what was going on. And of course, being a radio personality, he was going to report it to his listeners. Like, I don't know if I'm a YouTube personality, but I report everything to you guys that I think you'll find interesting, right? So I totally understand where he was coming from. He wanted to get evidence, he wanted to get facts, and he wanted to do a great show and find out what the heck was going on for his fans. I mean, that's why they were calling him, right? So Danny decided to investigate the matter on his own, and pretty soon after, he became absolutely obsessed with getting photographic evidence of what these people were seeing in the sky. So one day, while a group of school children were riding on a school bus, they reported that they saw these objects in the sky. And at the same time, Gordon was at the local mall looking in the sky, waiting with his camera, and he was actually able to snap a few pictures that corresponded to the exact same time and the exact same thing the children on the bus were seeing. So it was kind of like a backup or a proof that he was in fact taking pictures of what was in the sky. Again, this was a long time ago, no digital cameras, no cell phones. This was just those, it wasn't even, the disposable phones weren't even out yet. I mean, disposable cameras weren't even out yet. This was old school, you know, got to buy film for it and wait a week to get it developed type cameras. So Gordon that day finally managed to snap a few photos at, quote, extremely close range, end quote. And he thought he had his undeniable proof that these were UFOs in the sky. And he was ready to report it on his radio station and give the pictures to the newspaper and just go balls out with it. And that's what he did. He went public with the photos. However, once he did this, very strange things started happening to Danny Gordon. It began with him receiving a phone call from a strange and unfamiliar man telling Danny that he was, quote, ex-military, end quote. And this guy warned him that if he continued his research, it would, quote, cost him everything, end quote. The man also said that Gordon should, quote, definitely stop for your family's sake, end quote. So now the guy's making, again, veiled threats, not so veiled. Like, this guy's making actual threats, like something's going to happen to your effing family if you don't stop this crap. That's not okay, and that's terrifying. Like I said in the beginning, that would be the one thing that would get me to stop and to be quiet. But that's not the weirdest part. Two men claiming to work for a magazine publication called and asked if they can interview Danny and look at the photos and make copies or whatever for their magazine. When he went to meet these men, Gordon said they were wearing all black suits. There were two men and they were dressed in black. So not too long after the men concluded their interview, which Gordon later said was more like an interrogation, right? It wasn't like an interview. Like, these guys seemed pissed and they seemed like they were some kind of police or government agency that was actually interrogating him about what he had seen. When he finally went back home, he realized every single one of his photos and all of his research was missing from his home. There wasn't a scrap of his evidence left. So they essentially got him out to this interview to get him out of the house so that they can break in. However, there were no signs of a break-in at all. Nothing else was touched. The police came, fingerprinted. There was no forced entry. How'd they get in? So anyway, Danny put two and two together and realized that he needed to contact the magazine because he really thought this had to do with these two men in black, these two interviewers from the magazine. When he contacted the magazine, they said they had never even heard of him. They had never heard of his photos, his research, and they certainly did not have anyone like the men were described working for them. So who were these men? So Daniel Gordon finally stopped because his doctors had long since been warning him that the stress from the MIB, from all the publicity and getting the photos stolen and everything he was going through to try to figure out what happened, like, he didn't just let this go. Like, he went to the police, he went to the news, he made a big stink about this. Eventually, he ended up having a major heart attack. This heart attack seemed to open his eyes and he gave up UFO research for the rest of his life. He never again tried finding out what happened. This guy even went on Unsolved Mysteries. He never spoke about UFOs or the Men in Black encounter again for the rest of his life. He didn't do any interviews. Wow. So let's talk about theories. And theories abound about who these men could be. Here are just a few that I've come across, and I really want to hear your opinions in the comments. So the theory number one is aliens. Some believe that the MIB are aliens in disguise who arrive in order to cover up the tracks of their own kind messing up and allowing themselves to be seen by the people here on this planet. Like when spaceships crash, that's not done on purpose. So someone has to go clean it up. So these people say it's their alien friends, like cleaning up their mess. I mean, after all, they seem to be able to vanish and appear at will right around wherever their target is. This could also be an explanation as to why they never show any kind of emotion, except sometimes anger. And as I said before, many have claimed to have seen the painted on lips with the lipstick and have seen them communicating telepathically. What happened with the coin, too? I tend to believe this theory. They remind me of the observers in the show Fringe, which, by the way, got a little crazy on the last season. I wasn't too happy about it, but the rest of that show, I wish they'd bring it back. So anyways, moving on to theory number two. Another theory that believers tend to believe is that the men in black are actually machines, androids or robotic humanoids, which again point to the lack of any kind of emotion ever shown on the face of the MIB. Although, like I said, too, they are known to show rage, to react in a rageful way, I guess would be the best way to put it, because they don't show it on their face. It's just their body language that displays anger and rage, but no other emotions. There are claims that the MIB have no clue what to do with everyday things, such as being given a cup of Jell-O and putting it in his pocket after looking at it strangely, not knowing what to do with a fork, stuff like that. Skeptics, however, say that it's highly unlikely that this could be the case because the first sightings of them were reported way back in the 1940s and the 1950s, and our technology hadn't gotten so far. But what I say to you, skeptics who are making this claim, if they're alien, they could be making clones themselves. Who says we don't have this technology? That could be what Dr. Bender was about to come out with. So I call shenanigans on the skeptics in that one. They could very well be alien-made machines or made with tech that aliens had given us. Theory number three is that the MIB are just regular human beings, but who are government officials. In the minds of many, the most believable theory is that the MIB are simply government agents, human ones, who work for a division of the United States government that's top secret, that they're there to cover up things having to do with aliens and to make sure that it doesn't go public. So by the very nature of their job, they're kind of bizarre. You know, maybe they don't interact a lot with human beings because they have to keep everything that they know so secret. And imagine knowing those kinds of crazy secrets and not being able to talk to anybody about it, even your loved ones. I could do a video on what the CIA used to do to people when they were done using them, or when the people would want to stop what they were doing, or when the people spoke out. In fact, I might. So anyway, many skeptics want to believe that they're real humans. An argument that the skeptics give to why they're simply human beings or government agents is because they hardly ever, I don't think ever, tend to actually kill someone. They just threaten them. But that's going on a theory that what, the United States government doesn't kill people? Moving on, Gemma, moving on. These agents only seem to appear when someone's getting too close to the alien research and becomes a threat to the New World Order. This is what I read. It wasn't really explained, but I guess the NWO is allegedly working with aliens and they're about to, you know, die down the human population. I can get into a whole video just on that, guys. Let me know if you want to hear some conspiracy theories about the NWO, the Illuminati. I want to start doing little videos like this here and there. So that's all I have for today. But like I said, these are just three of many strange and bizarre encounters with MIB. I look forward to part two. I really look forward to hearing your guys' opinions and your views in the comments. Are you a skeptic? Are you a believer? I'm definitely a believer. I believe that there are aliens who are here to cover up for their friends or alien brothers and to make sure nobody gets too close. I can go into all kinds of alleged alien encounters where the government had just told us that it was a weather balloon. Do you know what I mean? I can go on and on with these videos. My ankle just cracked again. If you heard that, it happens every video. So anyway, guys, if you like this little video, please be sure to give me a big thumbs up, like, subscribe if you haven't already, and make sure your notification bell is turned on. You can donate financially to the channel. It would really help so I can get it back background so I can get some new equipment, guys. I've had one person donate through PayPal aside from my
But I'm
partner,
gonna cut
Steve
it.
Stockton, and
Just
Steve's
old
the only
stuff.
one on Patreon right now.
So
I
we're
know it's the
rocking.
holidays. I know
Hey, let
COVID-19.
me,
So if there is
this one. There we go. Let me close it down. And there we go. So what's up, Latro? Good to see you. Yeah, there is some stuff coming out of there that's pretty wild. Out of California, period, and out of Israel. Actually, all over the world. I sat one day, and I think I saw on about 30 channels put all together, probably a couple sightings in almost every dang state. I was kind of shocked. So it's getting real active again. But look at the state of the world. Every time the world gets like this, it happens. It gets picked up. Yeah, because if you see, watch, if you listen to a lot of the war stuff, all the way back through most conflicts, there are a ton of sightings and stuff. So yeah, it's gonna get interesting. Everything kind of, well, the veil is lifting too, so that helps. So, but yeah, I've seen some pretty good stuff come out of both those places. You watch Brown Dwarf, he films stuff all the time. I don't think they're gonna. I don't know. This time they may. They may intervene this time. We'll see. Who says they're not intervening already or participating already? They don't have to be really good. You know, they could be totally what everybody expects to be good, may not be so good either way. So. But I don't know if they haven't already started. There's a lot going on. So I could go in all kinds of directions with that. My guess is they're not intervening. I think they're participating. Let's put it that way, Latra. Already. And I've seen some pretty amazing stuff. And I don't know if anybody watches Mr. MBB3 333. Go check out his channel. I should drop his link. There's, he's got some footage that is just amazing. Maybe it's the news crew. Who knows? Yeah, the news crews. Yeah, now I just had click in my brain. Okay. Actually, I think we are their reality show. I really do. We're a sight to behold, that's for sure. Let me get a drink here. So you having a good week, Latro? Good into your weekend? I hope everybody's had a good week. We had a pretty good night last night on Gemma's show, on her stream, Oracles, Intuitive Oracles. Like to see a little bigger of a crowd, but Friday nights are hard because they would be streaming on Friday nights. Hopefully once we get things going again and she gets back to routine. And I'm still trying to work things out with Rumble so we can get rolling over there. And she has a lot of things planned coming up, so be prepared once September starts rolling in. She wants to kind of stir things up a little bit, which is great. Yeah, I can imagine. You're down south, aren't you? Yeah, it's hot down there. Now today it got up to 92, and tomorrow's supposed to be a little toasty, and then we're supposed to go drop back into the 70s. I can't wait. I am ready for some cool weather. And it was nice the last couple of days. It didn't, so I ain't complaining. I'm a cold person anyways. I love the snow, so. But I don't mind the summer either because I can get stuff done outside. And I like being outside as much as I can. Yeah. And I'm so glad. And, you know, it's going to get hot because there are so many solar flares going on right now. The sun is like super active. And I really do believe that that affects the heat and it affects everything, especially as hard as we've been getting hit with these solar flares. I mean, even when you're getting pounded by a bunch of little ones, it takes a toll on the planet. You notice this uptick on small earthquakes. I mean, it gets things going. Usually when you have a bunch of solar flares, especially a couple big ones, ain't much later you start having some, earthquakes and maybe a volcano will pop off or two, which is happening. There is volcanoes going off right now. And, well, there's one that's always going off, but there are a couple that got triggered and been a couple good earthquakes too. So keep your eyes peeled. And the weather is just insane. It's just crazy. I really feel bad for the South because if it ain't hot and nasty, it's raining and flooding everybody out. It's been a kind of a quiet night. I don't know how long I'll go. It's 1:02 now. And it happens. We have quiet nights. I anticipate those, especially toward the end of summer. Everybody going on vacation, trying to get stuff done, and that fun, loving school shopping. We, I believe, had started school already. I had to go run some errands Friday before stream. And on my way home, there were people standing at the bus stop. So we must have started already. I think they started early. We had a few. We usually don't make up snow days, so I don't know if we're just starting early now or what, but it was kind of trippy to see in the middle of August and there's school bus waiting. People waiting at the school bus for the school bus. But I know we have started early, so I'm going to watch something on the Fire tablet. There you go. Yeah, like I said, it's pretty quiet. I think the most people I've had in here tonight has been 7, which is fine. Yeah. And I'm good with that. I'd like to see more, but it makes the conversation a lot more interesting. And next Saturday, I'll play part 2 of this. And then I will be here Wednesday night at midnight for a spooky time. As I go, I'm getting a little bit more organized in the stories I tell. Starting to learn to get a little bit more and detailed. So just be patient with me. I'm not a great storyteller, but I'm just trying to give you an idea of what I see and go through. Thursday night should be Pixie at 8. Then Gemma and me, or I should say Gemma because it's really her show. I just sit in the background, fill in the gaps. Friday night at 7:15. I'm not sure on her upload schedule for video, but pretty soon she'll get back to normal on that. Please watch her shorts and comment on them, even if it's just hello, and give them those likes. Right now, that's easier for her to do those right now because she can do those in little bits when she can, until she can get and really do some filming. I think she's talking about doing some tomorrow. But hopefully everything will get back to somewhat normal and a little bit more exciting coming in September. I know she's got a lot of plans. If you guys got suggestions, ideas, please leave them in the comments. Don't be afraid to leave a comment after. Like I said, Wednesday night I'll be here at midnight. Got a couple good stories hopefully lined up, and I just kind of go with the flow with them too. So, and then, like I said, I think either the second week of September or the third week of September, we should be going back to Tuesday talks at 1. So those will be back, I hope. And Gemma's talking about doing a girl talk. paranormal spiritual girl talk, which I think is a cool idea. And she had some other things planned. She's kind of keeping it under the table, I guess. So I'm just going to go with the roll here. See what else. I'm saying a lot. Trying to keep it going. Trying to make it last a little bit longer. Because it is pretty quiet tonight. I'm not going to knock it, but... So what's everybody else been up to? I'm pretty tame. Like I said, I've been go. It's been nuts. I'm not trying to save any stories that's happened over the week for Wednesdays. Anybody have anything going on? Scrap my Ohio trip. Don't want to be anywhere at an airport as electricians. I'll tell you what, I wouldn't fly right now anyways. I don't mind flying, but if I can drive, I'd rather drive. You have a better chance driving than you do flying now. It's like every other time. I don't even have TikTok. I can just turn on anything, and everybody's complaining about flights and everything. It's insane. Plus solar flares. And you have a big solar flare up there while you're up there. It can affect stuff. So they're pretty much prepared for that, I would think. Should have been near an airport. Should have been near an airport. Don't want to be anywhere near an airport. Yeah, as elections happen, yeah, that's... I kind of had to refigure that too. But yeah, I don't know. This is going to be I don't want to get too political here because Gemma tries to keep that and other things down low grow here, but it's going to be an interesting election year. That's all I can really say. Doesn't RJ start kindergarten? No, he goes to first grade this year. Bam. First grade. He just finished kindergarten. He's in first grade. So, yeah. It's been a while. Yeah, he'll be first grade. As my friend Scotty said, the whole thing it's going to probably blow sooner or later, yes. It's like I said, it's going to be interesting. I'm telling you, folks, without getting too political here. But crap is going to eventually hit the fan. So be prepared, because anything is possible now. Seriously, anything is possible. So be prepared for anything, which is hard to do. Make sure you have a bug out bag. Make sure you have plans. Make sure you know where your family's at. I'm serious. No, I'm not trying to use a fear tactic. Just be prepared, because it's going to get interesting. And like I like to say, hold on to your butts. But I thought he came just in preschool. Yeah, he is growing up fast. My kid's tall too. Hey, Ron Forrest, how you doing, sir? Yeah, I just played a Gemma Men in Black from 3 years ago. I'll play the second half next week. I hope you're well, Mr. Ron, Mr. Forrest. Sorry. Yeah, he's pretty tall for 6 years old. I bought him some shorts, so if I buy him anything, I always buy a couple sizes bigger, because he's going to grow right into it. Yeah, I hope you're having a good night, Ron. It's kind of quiet here tonight, so we're just kind of hanging out. I did the video, and I'm just hanging out now. Figured I'd hang out a little bit and see if I was going to call a night, but I see people coming in now. So please come on in, have a seat, get in on the conversation. Oh yeah, I don't know how tall you are, but he's getting there. Yeah, he did. Ray's tall too, so I think he's probably about 6'1". He's tall. Yeah, I hate heartburn. I used to love spicy foods. It kills me now. Yeah, he's getting it. Yeah, man, I used to love spicy foods. Just can't do it anymore. And I suffer from acid reflux anyways. So, and then the acid reflux used to get so bad it caused Barrett's esophagus. Because I was one of those kids that had it early. Now, my family has, my dad's side, even my son has problems with his belly. That's the only problem I have with my belly is the heartburn. Pretty much other than that, everything is good when it comes to my belly. But man, I tell you, Nexium. You can get it over the counter now. I think it comes in 24 milligrams. Take one in the morning, take one at night. Get your body used to it. And if it doesn't help, take two. Don't go over two. Take one in the morning, take one at night, two at night, whatever works. Get in a regimen, do that. I mean, I can eat spicy foods now because of Nexium. Nexium opened the door. My dad used to get heartburn so bad just from drinking water. I felt bad for him. Yeah, that stuff's good too. Yeah. Also, if I don't have anything at hand, believe it or not, those peppermint, I call them fluffy peppermint candy. They're the big fluffy Christmas ones you used to get, the peppermint. Because peppermint's good for heartburn too. Just pop a couple of those in your mouth and sometimes that will work. Sometimes that's what I go to if I don't have anything around. The Tums just makes it worse. You're just eating chalk there. Baking soda, yeah, it does work, yes. When desperate, yes. Baking soda and water will work. Edna had a good one the other night. I kind of remember what it was. Yeah, peppermints are good for upset stomachs too, yes. It settles the old gut. As long as you don't overdo them. But yeah, heartburn's a pain. Yes, since I had Barrett's esophagus, I have to stay away from spicy foods anyways. My son loves it hot. I used to be the same way. Can't do it anymore. Yeah, bay leaf tea. Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, it was, wasn't it? Soda water. Yeah, that does a good. Actually, so does. This is gonna sound weird. Get a can of 7-Up or a bottle of 7-Up, and open it up and let the fizz go out. That will help too. Flat 7-Up always worked for me at work when I couldn't. I just pour it and let it. I'd get it without I turn off the soda off the fountain, the mix, and pour me a glass of just flat 7-Up. Worked every time. At least it gave me a couple hours of relief. But yeah, once I discovered Nexium, yeah, I don't like. That's one of the few pills that I'll take. I cut back quite a medicine because I don't like taking all that crap. But unfortunately, the Nexium works, so I'm sticking with it. I used to wake up in the middle of the night and have that blood taste in your mouth. That's just eating away. Well, see, I have a bowel problem too. The heartburn sucks. It does. We're talking heartburn. But yeah, that's me. A lot of people are starting to realize it's hard to do these kind of shows by yourself. So chat don't talk, then you got to kind of babble through your way and try to make it worth it. But I'm cool with that because, like I said, this is good therapy for me. It's nice. It makes me feel like I'm doing something after running around all day. How many pills can we take a day? I don't know. On the Nexium, I wouldn't go more than 2 a day. I take 240 milligrams a day. That's how bad I get. That's what my body got used to. But if you get like the 24 mils, whatever it is, milligrams, take 2 in the morning, take it 2 at night, get a routine going. Make sure you just drink plenty of water and fluids. Yeah, it works. And then it's a different on carnivore diet. Stomach and intestine problems go away. The entire gut microbiome changes. Yeah, true. Yeah, you can also solve that by a lot of people say if you take what do they call those? Oh man, now I can't even think what they are now. You can take something that will help with that. It's like a antibiotic. It's I'll have to look it up. I drew a blank. I hate this. This is why I do these streams, because it helps me. Because see, when I get in stream, I get all these things in my head, and then I get here and I draw blanks. But I'm getting there. You think after doing this almost a year now, 2 years, year and a half, I'd be used to it. It's definitely been fun now. I enjoy hanging out with you guys. But yeah, gut problems are never good. So anybody see anything good this week? Any good movies? Any movies you like? Any good books? That's another thing, folks. Remember, Gemma's got Volume 3 of Gone Out, and Book 3 of Campfire Stories are both out right now, and all of her other books. Please make sure you grab one and grab a couple and check them out. You might like them all. And leave a review. And like I said, please watch her shorts and stuff. Reading Hunt for the Skinwalkers. Ooh, good book. I haven't read that book. So, is it? Yeah, I haven't read that one. Well, wait. Is it my shelf? Yeah, I must put that one in the box. I'm limited on space. Yeah, she was, and it's that first one's always kind of a scary thing, but she'll tell you every book's kind of a pain sometimes, but it goes away. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? She's got, dang, let me see. She's pumped them out, that's for sure. She got 9 books out. That's pretty impressive. Pop quiz. Explain the difference between a skinwalker and a Wendigo. Skinwalker is usually a Navajo, shaman, witch doctor, whatever you want to call it, that's gone dark and had and sacrificed. I mean, it's pure black magic. Where a Wendigo is more or less a spirit. It's a demon. It possesses you. Yeah, 9 books in 3 years. 3.5 years. Pretty impressive. Pretty impressive. I was checking this other YouTube stream, and they were talking about feral people. She's actually got a video about feral people too. One of her older videos. I almost showed that one night. Maybe if you want me to, I'll show that next week. I can't remember how long that video is. Hold on. Let me see. Go on to the other one here. Dun, dun, dun. How old is that video? Why'd you do that? I do that every time. 1 second here. Switch over here. I'm just going to see if I can find this. It's one of her older ones, but yeah, she did one on feral people back in the day. And there are out there. They are definitely out there. A lot of them. You'll find a lot in the Appalachian Mountains and in the Rockies. I don't know about up north. Probably would. There's probably a few up north too. Actually, you'd be surprised where there are feral people at. I honestly think they're just about anywhere, everywhere. Come on, come on, come on. Where is that at? Okay, right here. Nope, I don't want to do that. I don't think I can't show the. It was from 3 years ago. 3 years ago. And it's wild man and ferals in the woods. Are they responsible for? She approaches the fact that maybe some of these people are the reason why people are missing, which is possible. Okay, let me get rid of that. Messes with my. You got it right, Ghosty. Thanks, Vixen. They love to deny it in Tennessee. Yeah, they deny it in Tennessee, but they are real. Oh, very real. They are humans. Yeah, they are humans. They're just people that either have been left out in the woods as children or went out there and they just became feral. You know, you don't have to be that way. You can go out there. If you spend so much time in the wilderness, you're going to become part of it. You're going to be a feral person probably after a few years, if not longer. And check Oakland. Yeah. Yeah, the spell check sucks. But yeah, they're humans and they're very real. Same thing with your inbreds. You know, a lot of people think a lot of ferals that are up in the Appalachian Mountains are inbreds, which is more than likely true. Which is sad, but it's true. I mean, and I don't know about out west, but I know I have friends up in Canada and they have actually seen feral people. I mean, these are people that don't even speak anymore. You wouldn't think when you first saw them, you wouldn't think them to be human until you get closer. And it's like they have lost all social interaction. Dueling banjo guy. Yeah, basically. That's a movie you don't hear about too much. Deliverance. That's a messed up movie. It's a good movie, but it's a messed up movie. You talking about somebody yelling, not cool. Were the children of people who choose to live in isolated become yes. That's a big thing too. Skinwalkers are human. Wendigo are a cannibal spirit. It was close. But thank you. Saw a skunk today. There's skunk everywhere around here. My dog, I think my dog's girlfriend, this is a skunk. Every time he's been tagged twice. And I'm pretty sure by the same skunk. So now we got to go out there and check the yard before we let him out at night. And it's a big sucker too. This thing ain't little. She's a big old mama. But go get a Band-Aid up, Pammy. Yeah, we don't see possums too much around here. But the other day we're sitting in the living room and we have a big picture back pit, one of those big picture windows that look out in our backyard. I go, Dad, look, and a big old possum, probably about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, which is rare. But it also just got done storming really bad and dumped a lot of rain. So we figured it must have shooted out of its hiding spot, walking across the backyard. And then I caught a baby gopher trapped in the fence in the backyard. And his head was stuck in the thing, so I had to cover his head and cut the thing so I can let him free because I wasn't going to let poor guy hang in there. Maine have a few possum colonies. I'm sure they're everywhere, man. Possums are interesting critters. You got to watch them stealing cat food too, because if they have rabies or even carrying the virus, they can give it to your cat. So you need to watch them eating out of your cat food. Some people say that they live in the Bible Belt down south. What do they mean by that? Bible Belt. Bible Belt is an interesting concept, but it's basically a length that goes across America that there's, like if you go from the Mormons and follow it through Ohio, there seems to be like a belt that wraps around America that's a lot of Bible church-going people. That's why they call it the Bible Belt. It's further down south. Kind of comes up out of, if you want to count them, but basically runs along the south, especially from Texas all the way across to Florida. And then kind of moves up. It's pretty wide. And it shifts. About Alabama, Mississippi, all that from, like I said, Texas over. Seems to be the main part of the Bible Belt. And actually, what's weird is if you look at the Bible Belt, if you get a map out and they kind of give you an idea where the Bible Belt is, and you look at the tornado belt, they're pretty in the sea. I shouldn't laugh, but it's true. Yeah, don't worry about it. I couldn't spell it either. I've met a couple on TikTok, and they don't like the Northerners. Was curious. I don't know. There's still that North and South thing that still resonates with a lot of people. It's like people making fun of Ohio. You've never lived in Ohio. You just hear the crazy stories, and we're no different than any other area. I think it's a big deal now because Ohio is pretty much quiet. Then all of a sudden, we were like, they kind of compare us to Detroit and all that. I'm like, no, we're not that bad. It's pretty boring here. I mean, even Cleveland and Cincinnati's, it's not the best, but it's still pretty quiet in those towns compared to Detroit, and Chicago, and Philadelphia. It's still pretty quiet. Ohio's pretty boring, actually. We have a lot of weird stuff, yes, but we're pretty quiet. Yep, you got it, Latro. Yeah, I'm not an Ohio State fan. I never really was. I had a friend who was a trainer when Oral Bruce coached for Ohio State. A good friend for a long time. So we used to go to the games. Yeah, Ohio is kind of creepy quiet at times. I'll agree with that. I always said Ohio is wonderfully weird. MT Paranormal, I think, lives in Ohio. A lot of his stuff's good stuff. He's pretty much showed kind of the craziness and the weirdness in Ohio in one form or another. I know there's a couple of other streamers and people that are out of Ohio. Oh, I'm sure it is freaky down there. When I was going through parts of the turnpike through Pennsylvania, you'd hit those fog banks, and it gives off a creepy vibe. It really does give off a creepy. Cincinnati and Dayton, substantial size. Yes, Cleveland's pretty big too, a lot bigger than people realize. But Cincinnati and Dayton, yeah. Columbus is really not that big. For being, the capital, it's not really that big. As for downtown area and that area, Cincinnati and Dayton also sprawled out a little more than Cleveland and Columbus were more compacted, like a lot of the big cities, were just not that big. And so if you go to Cincinnati, it's kind of sprawled out along the river. Same thing with Dayton. It's out in the middle, off to the west there, and it's pretty well sprawled out too. I was talking about Bigfoot to the couple, and they think it's all connected to the devil. A lot of them do. A lot of the Methodists, Protestants. I'm a Protestant, but a lot of the Methodists, Baptists, a lot of the deeper involved Christian religions do believe that, and I kind of go with that too, that these things are not what people think, but that's my opinion. But yeah, you'll hear a lot of that from some of the, what I call the hard thumpers. And they have the right to feel that way. No, not really. It used to be Chillicothe. Yes, Chillicothe. Well, actually, Worthington was the first capital. Then Chillicothe. Then Columbus. My dad grew up in Chillicothe. My dad is from Chillicothe. Cleveland being on the lake is like a half a metro. Yeah, it is. And it's kind of squeezed on the lake too. I've been to Cleveland so many times. We used to go watch the games with a friend. On Saturday night in Toledo is like being nowhere at all. Yeah. Toledo's an interesting place. Akron's pretty interesting. They were Southern Baptists, yeah. Where a lot of your Baptists and Methodists are down south. In Toledo, go to the Tony Paco's restaurant. I've heard of that place. I don't think I've been there, but I've heard of it. That is the problem with mainstream Christianity, that did everything and everyone. Kind of agree with that, but that's their belief. The only problem I have with some Christians is they criticize, and that's a no-no in the Bible. You're supposed to be loving no matter what. I mean, you don't have to agree with what they do or say. You can disagree with that, just like anything else. But yeah, there are times I think certain Christians are a little too judgmental. I always say it's between you and God, and if you don't believe in God, I don't know what to tell you. But yeah, Now, a good Christian will tell you, hey, this is wrong. This what you're doing is wrong. But they're not going to like get up in your face about it unless you're forcing it on them. So, okay, we're working on it now. I got a couple more videos I want to post. I'm trying to get with Gemma. We're waiting for Gemma to get little man back in school. And then we're going to start working out the details. And hopefully I can get her to start streaming maybe one day a week on Rumble and see how it goes. I'd like to do a test run. If I do a test run, I may do it on my own channel there because I do have one set up now. Still trying to figure out bugs. A lot of stuff I'm learning as I go. It's pretty easy. I think I'll be able to do it. I don't know how many people show up, but I'll let you guys know when I do the test run. Hello, Cindy. Yeah, hello, dear. How are you doing tonight? I hope you're well. Well, as good as you can be. Yeah, we're just hanging out. I'm probably going to go a little bit longer. It's 1:33. I'll probably take it to 2. So I'm glad you stopped in and said hello. I hope you are good, Cindy. But yeah, I'm working toward that goal. Like I said, we kind of got put on hold when he went to school, when he got out of school. So things kind of happened fast on her. She didn't get to find a place that, couldn't get him in fast enough to, so that's a lot of it. But we'll get it going. Like I said, she'll probably start dumping details and me probably the 2nd or 3rd week of September. I think the first thing she probably want to do is get Tuesday stream going back up again, or Tuesday talk at 1, and then start getting videos done. Though live may be the way to go because you're not pulling in money just doing uploads. You got to kind of go live now. That's the thing now. So we'll get it kicking. Like I said, she wants to bring back Tuesday talk. I think she wants to do like a girls paranormal talk and spiritual talk. So she's got stuff lined up. So we'll be ready. And you have a right to feel that way because sometimes it is, Ron. Sometimes it is. Not always, but sometimes it is. Has been in the past, yes. A man has a habit of thinking what he's doing is the right thing. It's not always the right thing. So, yeah, I kind of agree with that. It's not supposed to be meant that way, but unfortunately, it does happen to work out that way sometimes. My view on, I'm a Christian. I'm a God-fearing man. And I have my stance and views. I try not to push them on anybody. If they're doing something I don't agree with and they kind of want to shove it in my face, I may make my point of view. But like I said, it's between you and your creator. I believe what I believe because of the way I was raised, from the things I've seen over the years, from the things that I've had happen to me. So that's why I believe the way I believe. And I'm proud of that. I'm not ashamed to admit it. That's, everybody has a right. My views and Gemma views are a little different, which makes it interesting. The way I look at things and the way she looks at things are very different, but we like that. What makes our conversations interesting. It's about conversation. Like I said, you don't have to agree with everything. Just a matter of being able to hold a good conversation and be respectful of each other. Unfortunately, respect and love seem to have slipped away out of our hands lately. Sad. Hey, AK, what's up, sir? How you doing out there in northern lands of Alaska? Yeah, a lot of different dominations groups. I don't consider So I was raised Presbyterian, I believe. Is a Presbyterian, but I don't believe in the denominations and stuff. Either you're a Christian, a lot of that's just on how they look at the Bible, how they interpret the Bible, how they react to certain situations in the Bible. And I almost became a preacher. Just close. And if certain things don't happen for me when my pop passes, I have an outstanding invitation with a monastery, and I may take them up on it to go become a monk. We'll have to wait and see. Oh, don't laugh. I almost became a preacher, dude. Yeah, it was real close. Believe it or not, yeah. And like I said, I've been in contact with a monastery since I was 18 years old. And because of my issues and always living in motion and Tourette's and everything, my life has been nonstop. I don't sleep. I don't, I'm actually lately have been getting almost 30 hours of sleep a week, almost. I'm tired. And if, like I said, plans A and B and C don't work out, plan D is to go live at the rest of my days at a monastery. And I'm perfectly prepared to do that and give up everything. Life is just material things anyways. Yeah, it's nice to have all this stuff, but I just sell most of it when I went through chemo to pay for the chemo. Yeah, I missed some of it. Some of it was worth some serious cash, but it saved my butt. But it's like, I didn't cry over it. I did what I had to do and I moved on. Preacher dragon or dragon preacher. I don't know if I'd use the word dragon with preacher if I become a preacher. Their Christian concepts of a dragon is, well, actually, there are actually some good concepts too. So I really can't say that. But yeah, I almost became a preacher or minister, is what I should say. Thomas is a preacher. I would have been a minister. Preacher Steve, yeah. Stephen. I go by Stephen. I prefer Stephen. You see how Stephen, 6 of us turns around. So it's either Stephen or Stephen Lee. But somebody told me I had a different path, so I listened to the voice and followed that path. I've had a good life. I can't complain. No, it's not been fun. Everybody had, we're born in pain and suffering anyways, and sin. So you do the best you can through life. And I wouldn't go back and change a thing. I really wouldn't. Preacher Stephen on the GemmaJadeYT show. That's the way with me. I leave it in God's hand and live one day at a time. Yes. And I got to the point in life I had no choice. I mean, like I said, I don't think people understand. I've been they tried to diagnose me with ADHD or whatever, being hyper. That wasn't it. In fact, they tried to put me on medicine. It made me worse. It took them almost my entire life for them to realize, hey, this is Tourette's. But yeah, I've been through it. But I'm carrying on. And I'm happy for everybody. Everybody's got their happiness. Everybody's got what I call the sweet spot in life where there's something that they hold on to dearly and that keeps them happy and keeps them going. Glad to be back home. Oh, you on vacation? We're being in the big city and crazy traffic, isn't it though? And I live in Columbus. I live right on the suburb of Columbus. Traffic ain't nothing here compared to Jersey. So when I left Jersey, I was kind of glad to come back to this, what I would call crazy traffic. This is tame here compared to there. I believe they were. I know a lot of tribes around Mount Helens, believe it or not. Remember Ape Canyon Encounter? Oh, yeah. Grow some corn and jalapenos. Oh, that actually sounds good. Yeah, nothing like home, that's for sure. That is sure. Next time you need a haircut, go to Jody's Touch of Snow in Chillicothe and tell her family Lou sent you. Hey, Jared, what's up, bud? You were a moderator. You got fired for being too sexy. That's hilarious. How you doing, Jared? I hope you're good. What's up, big guy? I haven't talked to Ryan. I need to get a hold of Ryan. If he's watching or listening, dude, I need to get a hold of you. I've been busy running around. Poor guy. I know he's going through some things and trying to take care of some things and write his book. So I've seen him posted. I haven't even really been sticking around on Facebook. I go in, do what I need to do, check out a few posts, scroll through. I drive slow like a tortoise. I have my moments. Yeah, I love you too, bud. I'm glad you stopped in. Some First Nations still believe that, Pam. Yes, they do. Yeah, I'm about going to call it about 2:00. Like I said, it's been pretty quiet up until now. Who done streaming or did find? Well, I keep forgetting I'm on an earlier time frame than most people too. Oh, you guys, quite a few of you folks are out west, right? I know Latro's out west. Jared, you're out west, right? And Pam's here in Ohio. Vixen's up in the Northeast. AK's out up in Alaska. Got to drive riding lawnmower for about 4 days. It was awesome. There you go. Yeah, nothing like a rider mower, man. Nothing like having one of those. I would get one, but my yard's too small. It'd almost be a waste. It'd go faster, but it'd be a waste. And I'd prefer to push. I love cutting grass. Well, thank you, Ron. And I appreciate you saying that. I really do. I mean, I've been doing these now for almost a year. I had fun. I do like the midnight shows. I gotta admit, I do like them. And I don't worry about the views, the crowds, as one might say. It'd be nice, but this is what it's about: just hanging out and talking. That's why I do Gemma's replays, so I can have kind of. I'm on her channel, so I need to promote her as much as I can. And then, like I said, Wednesday nights I'm still doing chit chat. I've just called it spooky time to add to because certain people were asking me to tell more of my encounters, so that's what I'm doing. I'm not a great storyteller, but sometimes my ears try to talk. I draw tongues on them, but nobody understands. I'm in eastern Oklahoma, the Ozarks. Okay. That's what I thought. I sure missed him and who? Ryan? Is that who you're talking about? I don't know who you're talking about, Pammy. I'm silly. Yeah, you're all right, Jared. It's okay to be silly. It makes life interesting. You? Oh, me? Sometimes I try to catch as many lives, Ron, as I can. I also like to follow new people that you could tell, the first or second video, and I follow a couple of them. I've watched a couple of new people not make it too, give up fast. Steven Ghosty Dragon. Yes, yeah, okay, that's who I thought you were talking about me. I was with you. But yeah, and I try, and all my people that I subscribe to, I try to watch as much as I can. I don't. I try to leave comments, but I don't always get to leave a comments because I'm just trying to catch up and plow through everybody's stuff because I do enjoy it. Is that you, Jared? I'll have to write that down. I'll do it now, and then I can go back and correct any mistakes. I got it. Thank you, Jared. And mine's in the in my description, in my page, but it's also right here. I'll go ahead and put it into. Yes, we need to do a show. Yeah, we'll do one. Like I said, I'm just kind of hanging out right now until Gemma gets kicking again, until the kid goes back. Like I said, now next Thursday is I believe, yeah, Miss Pixie's here next Thursday at 8. I'll be here Wednesday night. Maybe I'll have you on one night Wednesday night with me, Jared. That would be a good time. As soon as I talk to Ryan and see if he's coming back, I'm pretty sure he plans on it. We'll have to wait and see because he's got a lot going on. I hope he does. I enjoy being with Ryan. We're all trying to get everything going here because we kind of trying to get it going again. Yeah, it would be good. Yeah, so yeah, let me work that out. I need to get a hold of Area 51 too. He sent me his email. I got his email now too. I just haven't been able. I didn't plan any interviews because Ryan needed time to take care of some stuff, and Gemma's kind of on hold until the little man gets back to school. So I'm just kind of doing these, trying to kind of fill in the gaps, keep something going on the channel. Plus all of her shorts. So please make sure you watch her shorts and leave comments, all that fun stuff. Take care of the dog. You have a wonderful night and have a good Sunday, Latro. And we'll probably see you sometime on the flip side during the week. Be safe and be good. Have a good one, bud. Have a good night. Pam has puberty hair. But yeah, so we got a lot going on, and plus I want to get her going on Rumble because we need to get that income coming for her. She is trying to get a writing job. Hopefully she'll get that soon. Plus she's pounding out the books, and that's a good thing. But it takes a while for books to make money. So, and everybody's putting out books now. I think about every channel I watch now, somebody on that channel has a book. So, and that's cool. I'm glad because you get to get all different types of different views and takes on things. Plus, you get a lot more encounters too. I love listener encounters, people's encounters. I love listening to them. Good night, Pammy. You have a good night. I do keep you in my thought and prayers. You know, hon, you can reach out to me anywhere, anytime. You know, if leave a message on Messenger or whatever. Don't be afraid to yell. I am around. Sometimes a little slow, but I usually get back. Yeah, she's doing TikTok. I guess she's doing really good on TikTok, so that's good. You know, she's still trying to get those numbers up there, because that's the big thing with TikTok, is get those numbers up there, because she wants to go live on TikTok too. She wants to do live stuff on TikTok, but you have to have a certain viewer account or membership followers. Rumble, it's just a matter of us getting together, setting up some things and working things out. And Rumble should be pretty easy to get running once we get all that details taken care of. You have a good night, Pam. Be safe and have a good weekend. I know you don't, Cindy, but you can always feel free. I bug people all the time, so don't be afraid to yell. Even if it's just somebody to yell at. I'm around. And if I don't get right back to you, don't think I forgot you. I will get back to you. Believe me, I'm pretty good about that. May take me a little bit, but I try not to take too long. And when it comes to emails, my problem is I do so much paperwork on the internet. I get caught up in that. I go to email and find out that I have more forms to fill out. So I get caught up in that and then forget to send my email. I had an email that I was going to send Edna, all typed out, ready to go. I had to redo it because that took so long. I kept forgetting. Actually, the first 2 times I thought I sent it. Then the third time I sent it and it came back. So, but we got it all worked out. I don't see anyone from here on TikTok. I don't do a whole lot of, Gemma does TikTok, but I don't do a whole lot of social media. I was on Twitter for a while, and I believe on Snapchat. Didn't like Snapchat. Hi, Milos. Welcome. Hello. How are you doing tonight? I didn't like it, so I didn't stay on it for more than a week. TikTok, I haven't never done, but I probably should. The only reason I came back to Facebook was because of Gemma. I had a lot of problems with Facebook, and I'd left Facebook, and she asked me to come back, and so I came back. She thought it'd be good, and it's good because that way we can promote the shows and stuff. But yeah, I'm thinking about just doing TikTok so I can help with her views. My thing is, it's so much. It's like Twitter. When I was on Twitter, I just couldn't keep up with it all. I'm always go, and I don't always have that time to sit there. That's like Facebook. Like I said, the only time I'm on Facebook on my phone or YouTube on my phone is either if I'm sitting in a doctor's office or waiting for Dad to get out of a doctor's office. So it's morning here, doing well, about to go sunbathe. There you go. Where are you at again, Milos? Yeah, MySpace. Yeah, I had MySpace page. Yeah, I did have that. I'm on all social media, and it drains you. Yeah, I know it does. That's kind of why I don't think Gemma's really hadn't gone to Siberia. That's right. I always wanted to go there. It sounds awful, but there's something about Siberia that interests me. Anyways, I know it's important for like Gemma to do as much as she can, but it's hard to keep up with it all. And she does a lot of that by herself. I I don't help maintain, TikTok or anything. I don't feel comfortable doing that. Now I do BitChute, but see, I don't consider them like, I don't consider YouTube and BitChute and now Discord would be social media because you do converse, but like BitChute and Odyssey, I consider those media outlets. It is social media, but it's also a media outlet. It's like basically two-way TV. You turned up, yeah, started healing right after. That's why I don't. That's why I limit myself just on Facebook. I mean, you can brain dead yourself pretty fast. Oh, you do? There you go. Thumbs up. Mauser rifles. There you go. But yeah, if like I said, I had thought about joining at least TikTok for her. She would probably be her and maybe a couple other people I might follow on TikTok, but I couldn't keep up with it all. Like I said, I'm too enthralled in everything else. I haven't enough hard enough time keeping up with YouTube, and I love the subscriptions I have and the people I watch, the new people I like, just kind of scrolling through and just finding people I've never seen before and checking stuff out. So now I'm doing that on Rumble. I'm doing the same thing on Rumble now. I'm going over to Rumble. I spend a little bit of time over on Rumble and checking everybody out, seeing if there's people over there. Because believe it or not, there's a lot of people from YouTube working their way over to Rumble and Odyssey and BitChute. What was the other one? There's a couple of them. TikTok does take a lot of time. So does Twitter. I think those are the two most you see people enthralled in the most. It was necessary. You know how growth works. First, people fall off. Those that don't support your growth. Yeah. Yep. Only two people I lost interest in. Yeah, see, it's hard. X for politics and TikTok for silly things. That's what I've heard. That's what a lot of people tell me is you want to talk politics or the craziness in the world, just the craziness in general, go to X. For just goofy things, go to TikTok. Folks, I'll be right back. Please, I'll be right back. Don't go. I am so sorry about that. I had to take off the glasses, everything. I had to go to the bathroom. I couldn't hold it anymore. So what I miss? It's not just from the to you. Yeah, it's crazy, but like I said, Ron, we just try to watch talk getting too political here. a Gemma tries to keep the political and certain things down to a low key. It does mess with her algorithm, so because she's considered a paranormal spiritual channel. So, but yeah, it's nuts. It is nuts. Yep, and that's what they want to do: divide and conquer. Oh, I may have to put the glasses back out. Much better. Yeah, that's what they do: divide and conquer. This world. You see, people don't understand this world goes through cycles. Don't feel bad because I'm going to bed. I had to go. I couldn't. Well, that's the first time I've actually, other than in Gemma stream, because I know I can get up and turn off the thing and get back before. Hopefully that, and a lot of times when you see me going out, in and out in oracles, a lot of it's because I'm standing up and down trying to keep moving. Usually by Friday, my body is like hyped up. But yeah, it's been a while where I sat here doing a midnight show and said, "Oh God, I got to go. I couldn't hold it anymore." You should do a video. And actually, I was going to talk to her and maybe both of us together, not only do it in like one of the talk shows. You know, there's triangles everywhere. You got Alaska, you got Bermuda. We've got what we call the Zanesville, well, the Ohio Triangle, which is southeast of us. I mean, they're everywhere. So it'd be just talking about triangles in that sense, not just Alaska, but all of them as one group thing would be just interesting in all. Yeah, actually, AK lives in Alaska. I know the Alaskan Triangle, so it's a crazy place. The Bemington Triangle, yes. There's a couple of them. Even Michigan has realized that it may have a triangle. But if you look at the triangles too, they all fall within ley lines. Most of the triangles do fall within the ley lines. So, yeah. I think the only one is the Bermuda and the Alaskan triangles are a little more elongated. Bermuda is just big. But, yeah. And you still don't, you don't hear about the things that happen in Bermuda like you used to. Not anything like you used to. That's like, it was really weird when I was looking for, I go through Google Images and just kind of Facebook. I look for, stuff to put in the background. Well, I was looking for Men in Black. Everywhere I went, it all came up Men in Black movie. It took me forever just to find that one. Actually, I could have drawn that myself and posted it. But yeah, it's like I couldn't find any pictures in Google Images or anything of Men in Black except for little tiny clips here and there. Most of it was nothing but the movie stuff. It's like, interesting. Yeah, in New England, yeah. Mountain called Gottsbury. What were they thinking? What a name. Glossendoppari. I couldn't say it. I tried to say it. What were they thinking? Who knows? And you guys now, I know you like to run. I'm not sure about AK, but those who would like to go to, let's say, the most haunted, the most active place, where would be the place you would pick that you would want to go to the most? Me, is Skinwalker Ranch, only because I've always been drawn to that place and the one up north of there. More Skinwalker Ranch. And I always wanted to get kind of sneaky on Wright Pat Air Base only because I'm so close. And I know about a lot of the lore there. Anybody got a place that they would like to go? Yeah, Nahan Valley, I would love to. I would love to go there, but I know that's kind of out of my reach at the moment. But yeah, that would be an awesome place to be able to go in and find out what really makes that place tick. You ever do find a way to get in there, let me know. I'll go with you. And that's not a lie. I will go with you. I'll find a way to get there. The most mystical places in the UK. Well, UK's an interesting place anyways. Superstition Mountains, also a good place. Yes, very good place. There's a ton of stories there. In fact, a lot of skinwalker and everything there. That would be a very interesting place. That's another place a lot of people go in and don't come back out, or come back out all messed up. The Dragoon Mountains in Arizona. Ooh, that's a good one too. Where Cochise buried. Yeah. That would be a good place. Yes, Antarctica. I was waiting for somebody to say that. Now, see, that is one place that I would go without hesitation. If they told me I could go, I would go. I wouldn't even think about it. First of all, the cold doesn't bother me mentally. Physically, not so much anymore, but I would go. There's a lot of questions that people have about Antarctica. I would love to go down and answer. Because you're going to find out there's a lot more to Antarctica than people realize. A lot more. You may find out those bases have been there a long time. Now, I'm going to ask you, Ron, and anybody else that feel the same way, who all believes in Hollow Earth? Because people think of Hollow Earth and you see the pictures of the Earth being hollow and a whole different like world inside out. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it works that way. I think Hollow Earth is like they described. In fact, I was really shocked that Monarch, the Godzilla universe, Monarch universe, kind of described it the same way as I always pictured it, as like caverns. There are just these huge, big air pockets. They go as God knows how deep. But that's my own opinion. But I believe there's an entrance in Antarctica and in the North Pole that leads you into some of the main areas of the Hollow Earth. Yes, there are caves underneath. There's a lot. They're still denying that there's pyramids there, but that's been proven that there are pyramids there. There are soldiers that come out of there and say there are these huge pyramids there. There's actually supposed to be a black pyramid actually under a mountain. So kind of reminds me of in the first Alien Predator, where they, you know, as the one of the first civilization was in there underneath all that and underneath the mountain and the ice caps. Something to think about. Yes, I know they do. A lot of them do believe that. I do know that a lot of them do believe in the Hollow Earth. Antarctica is only a safe haven. You think that's highly possible, Milos? It's very highly possible. I believe the moon to be artificial like a base. I find a lot of the theories about the moon very interesting. I haven't really formed my opinion of the moon, but I do agree with a lot of people that it's hollow, that it's It's not solid. I mean, they've hit it a couple times with nukes, and it rings just like a bell. So, yeah, that makes it kind of interesting. And that's another thing that has a ton of theories. I know there's a huge black pyramid in Alaska too, but they believe they found one in Antarctica too, or that's the rumors. That's stuff that I've seen on the deep dark web. I saw that actually two reporters talking about it on the dark web in a encrypted chat. A lot of these people that are not allowed to talk or go there to talk. I saw the servants of the dark attacking it on a daily. Really interesting. Yeah, it's in the Alaska Triangle Vixen. Yep, it sure is. Yeah, it's there. What was the other thing? There was another one they found one in a couple. There's been a couple lakes now that they found pyramids at the bottom. If you go to Google Earth and just scan the ocean, you'll see some stuff in the ocean that makes you question things, because it literally looks like dirt tracks and roads. There's areas in the ocean you look at it and it's like look like roads. Yeah, there's a couple military guys wrote about that one. Have you heard of the Ark of Gabriel? It's some device as the Ark of the Covenant. Russians took it to the pyramid on there. Yes, I've heard about that. The Ark of Gabriel is an interesting subject. That could be a topic on its own. You know who Gabriel is? Gabriel blow your horn? Well, from what I always understood, it holds his horn. But there's a lot of interesting conversation about that too. And it wouldn't, like people think the Ark of the Covenant it's still lost. No, they haven't. They've had it for some time. We are so misled about a lot of stuff. Yeah, there's a YouTube video on it. Yeah. I'll have to go look for it. I didn't know there was a YouTube, but I know there's other people that have talked about it. I still want to know how the Egyptian pyramids were built. Interesting question. Did they build it just like that guy did with that coral castle that he built down in Florida? Was it built the same way? I think it was. And that guy used magnetics and levitation to build that place. Unfortunately, he took everything with him when he passed, all of his secrets. You'll never know. But a lot of people said that there was a lot of teenagers that was watching from distance saying that he was literally levitating stuff across and mounting stuff that way. So there's technologies that they had then that we don't have now, and we can't duplicate for some reason. Had an ex-military guy on her show on the pyramids. Yeah, you're going to find a lot of these pyramid guys will open up. The Ark is in Ethiopia. Well, that's what they say. I believe the real one's there. I think that there are duplicates. And I think the real one, supposedly they found the real Ark buried under where Jesus was crucified. That's a lot of the story now. That's what you're hearing now. Some people think it is in Ethiopia. They swear to it, but they won't let you see it. Some of the guard stuff that they had supposedly kept over the years don't all meet up to specification, but you never know. Something is under the dome of rock. Yes, something is there. What? It's a good guess. Some people think it could be the Ark of the Covenant and the Goblet, whatever. I'm drawing blanks again. But yeah, there is something there. And it'll be interesting when it's revealed. I'm so busy with real life. I really want to be here more. Yeah, see, that's the thing, Ron. That's why I do midnight shows and her show. Even when we were doing Tuesday Talks, it kind of throws me out of whack on my schedule because I do all my stuff during the day and try to make nights mine. But yeah, life gets crazy, dude. I get it. Believe me, I get it. Well, he was. That's already been proven in a lot of ways. But that's my feeling. That's my personal belief that he was real. And he is real. Not was, is. No, Jared, you're all good, man. I know how crazy life is, man. Believe me. I know. Look at me. I can tell you just by looking at me. I just like everybody's take on everything. And I'm a pretty open person. I mean, despite my values and my own personal opinions and the way I look at things, I always do my best to kind of look through other people's eyes. You learn a lot that way. And it opens the book even wider and adds more pages to it. I always like to read extra pages. Ghostdragonzw, have you ever looked into the FBI guy that took Nikola Tesla's stuff after he died? Actually, I believe it's more than one guy. And actually, I believe it was the whole field agents. They're blaming one guy. Tesla, the guy that invented the motor that ran on water, the one guy that dealt with cold fusion, these guys all died and disappeared for a reason because they were onto something that could have been free and helpful to everybody, but they don't want to do that. They don't want you knowing about this. This is why we don't know about all the old technologies that we can't duplicate now. Is because it was free technology. You could just tap into it. But, you know, it's sad. And they want to be greedy. And that's another of my personal opinion. Yep, he sure is. Yes, he was. Very intelligent man. They drove him mad. He didn't go mad. They drove him mad. But yeah, they scammed a lot of these inventors, big time. That's highly possible, Vixen. I've heard that too. There's a couple ideas who might be there. I've heard Abraham's son. I've heard Abraham. But I believe Abraham was taken. That's a different story. Just like Enoch was taken, body and all. He just disappeared. So yeah, I have a couple ideas what might be under it, but I'm not going to make guesses because there's people a lot more educated in that field than I am. Not to be political, but you can't Google it. It was Donald Trump's uncle. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing. They're saying it is his uncle, but I think there was a lot more involved in that. I mean, I think he just was an agent. He was hired to do that, and a couple other people were with him. That Tesla, especially the one dude that was into cold fusion, he was really onto something. They disappeared him fast when he really started getting somewhere. Same thing with this guy that had an engine that ran on water. It was basically extinct. I mean, they don't want you guys not have to pay for stuff. They want you to pay and taxed. Well, Tesla's a lot like, Tesla did have a rough life. And he's a lot like, when it comes to that, he's a little bit like Einstein. A lot like Einstein. A lot of these guys were so smart, but their personal lives were not the best. They dealing with my own. I had a friend who now works for the government. He had a genius IQ. It was incredible, and there's so many of them out there, but he didn't have no common sense. He kind of like Sheldon, not as extreme as Sheldon from Big Bang Theory, but I know guys like that were so smart, but everything else not very functional. Tomb of Solomon is also believed to be under Jerusalem. Yes, I do believe that too. Yeah, I agree with that very last one there, Ron. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of politicians. Now, I'm not saying there's not good ones out there, but unfortunately right now it's looking like the bad ones outweighing the good ones. And people don't understand this government doesn't exist without us. It is in our Constitution that we have a right to stand up to it and shut it down if we're being wronged by it. People need to wake up. We don't work for them. See, the thing is, over the years, I've become their employees, and it shouldn't be like that. That's not the way it was meant to be. People need to understand that they work for us, not the other way around. And we are paying them in more ways than one. Story is that Edison stole a lot of stuff. Edison didn't just steal from Tesla. He stole from a lot of people. That dude was not a good man. I don't care what anybody says. All the research I've done on that man, he was not a good man. He was, from what I understand, kind of a jerk. He had no problem electrocuting an elephant just for show, which wasn't cool. They knew what the outcome was going to be before they even did it. It's very interesting how the government teaches people that metaphysics doesn't exist while they use it on a daily basis. Yep. Oh, yes, for sure, Myla. Dude, it's how people freak out, like when you see a science fiction movie and then you realize you can do that now. I have news for you. That is, the science fiction is just telling you stuff that is either in the making or soon to be. But some of the, like George Orwell, he wrote this book. He wrote a couple books that pretty much predicted the future. How do you have that information? He pretty much, in a lot of ways, nailed it. So, and we haven't even gotten to that extreme yet. But they're trying to get us there. A lot of famous people weren't that good. Oh yeah, a lot of them are not as good as people play them off to be. Oh yeah, that's for sure. When Tesla died in the hotel, there was 16 boxes of rice. Yeah, there was all kinds of stuff. They took everything. They try to tell you they didn't take everything, but they took most of everything. In fact, I'm pretty sure they took everything. Flash forward, and then the man that personally handled the nephew became president. Yeah. There's a lot of funky business like that goes on, AK. A lot of it that we don't even hear about. Over in the Balkans, politicians have departments of witches and warlocks. Yes, they do. A lot of people freaked out when I told them that. They were like, no, they don't. You'd be surprised how many governments do. Not there. You will find that also in some of the Asian countries. And some of them up in the northern areas. You find that too. It's not uncommon. It's been something that's been practiced since the beginning, with a lot of these kings. They always had an advisor, usually a priest or a warlock or a witch or oracle. Oracles were big then too, because they always wanted to know what was going to happen, give an insight. But I mean, you live in old country there, Milo. So yeah, I can imagine a lot of stories that come out of there. There was a famous case of an NT Sheena in the Bulgaria, Milo. Yeah. Man, there's so many stories everywhere about crazy stuff. One of the bad thing, I was trying to make sure I didn't miss anything. I was gone, but it didn't look like I did. I appreciate you guys letting me run off on it like that. I don't like doing that, but man, I know what it is. I like this conversation. We're touching on a lot of subjects. This subject can come over next Wednesday. So if all you people are here, want to come talk more about this stuff next Wednesday. Now, Wednesdays, I usually try to cut it off about 2 because I get up Wednesday morning and actually Thursday morning and actually get busy. So I only go to 2 there. These I kind of play by ear. Saturday nights I play by ear. I'll tell you what, when I went on the dark web for the first time, all worked out, knew I was going to be safe. It wasn't half as scary as everybody played it to be, which I knew already. But the information that's out there. The only problem is you don't want to download anything from the dark web because you never know what it's attached to. But, I mean, I go into cryptic chat rooms where they're talking news. I like to go watch them, watch them talk. You get good information. There's this one channel that kind of comes and goes because you can go one day and find all this stuff and go back the next day, have it all marked, and you know where you're going to find it, and go back and it'd be gone. So, you take the information and you run with it as fast as you can. I found a lot of good information there, a lot of documents, read a lot of documents from all over this place, all over the world. Some even been transcribed and translated. So long ago, Romania witches turned on the politician. Yeah, I remember that. Actually, I remember reading an article about the parliament died under mystical circumstances. Yeah, I heard about that. I think I even read about it. I think I even showed that to my dad. Good night, Ron. Yeah, I think I'm going to call it a night. It's going on 2:30. And I think it's a perfect time to stop. And a lot of you people are from the other side of the world there. Milo, thank you for joining us. I'm glad you carried over from Friday night. We'll be here Wednesday night at midnight for spooky time. Pixie will be here Thursday night at 8. She does a lot of spiritualism, talks about, the stone, rocks and crystals and stuff like that. And then me and Gemma, or Gemma and I should say, we'll be back Friday at 7:15 for oracles. And then I'll be back here next Saturday, do about 12:30. I do a replay of one of Gemma's older videos. Next week will be part 2 to the one I showed tonight. And then I'm going to do some of her kind of serial killer, murder mystery stuff. Because she had a couple good ones I wanted to play and kind of change it up a bit. But yeah, you're welcome to join. Love to have you there. Everybody have a great rest of the weekend. Please have a wonderful Sunday. Stay cool if you're in a hot area, because I know the South is cooking right now. Do your best to stay cool and comfortable. Those on the other side of the world, please take care of yourself. Be aware of your surroundings. That should be everywhere anyways. As crazy as this world is right now. So, much love. I hope you guys do have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Sunday and a beginning to your week. And I will see, hopefully, some of you Wednesday night for spooky time or chill and chat, whatever you want to call it. I'm calling it spooky time now. Thank you, Vixen. You have a wonderful night, too. Please sleep well. Those who are going to still up and enjoying the day or going sunbathing, enjoy your day. Have a wonderful one. Folks, AK, you be safe out there in Alaska. Enjoy your dinner. Ron, thank you so much. You have a wonderful night. Everybody else that sat in the background and listened and watched, thank you so much for joining us. Be well, folks. And I shall see you on the flip